Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Eorzea, the only Final Fantasy XIV news podcast hosted by us, me, Debbie, and this wonderful person, Pyra. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This is the only one like us. Only one
exactly.
Like us.
We are the only Final Fantasy XIV podcast that Debbie and Pyra host. So if you wanted to check out
one of me.
Exactly. If you wanted to check us out, you are going to be here and nowhere else. So welcome. Listen, we have some news, but most of the news is the live letter we had this past Thursday, which we were anticipating and talked a lot last week about, but we can go over what actually happened, what they actually showed us versus what we thought they would, and get a little bit of hyped for it. As for the Lodestone is just trying to sell us stuff that they talked about in the live letter, so we can just ignore it. I mean, mostly true. I guess the only thing that we can really talk about is the duty commenced. So let me pull this up if you want to start talking about it.
Yeah, so duty commenced is happening July 30th. So that's only 2 days away. They're going to recap, kind of like we're doing today, they're going to recap a bit of patch 7.3 info from the letter producer live and showcase the latest entries for community commendations and giveaways. So it kind of, I mean, if you've never been, it really just feels like a community thing. Oh my god,
right? I need to watch this. When is this? July 30th, Wednesday at 3 p.m.
I'm on vacation. This is amazing. This is great.
Okay. I might have to sneak on my lunch break at work.
I have so many Namazu things, but I feel like I'm going to knock over stuff on my shelf if I grab any of them. I need that more than anything in my life.
So you watch this on the official Final Fantasy XIV Twitch channel, and they have the chance to give away one of 10 USB Namazu fan figures.
10?
Wow. Yeah, check out the rules, tune in. It's always fun to watch, but it's definitely fun to watch when they're giving something away. So they usually announce giveaways with like entering a code and stuff on screen, so it's a Namazu! And it's USB, so it probably waves its flag.
I know, it says Namazu fan figures, and I agree, it's probably just in the Washoi, like, just, oh my gosh, I need it.
Yeah.
I swear, if I ever go to Japan and they have all those things, I'm going to go bankrupt.
Well, exactly, right? The only thing stopping me from being tempted is the fact that it doesn't exist here. It costs a ridiculous amount to ship it into Canada.
Sadly, yes.
Okay, so tune in to that if you have a chance, and yeah, that's basically news.
I mean, kind of the only next news is really just rolling into the live letter stuff, which is we have a date on patch 7.3. Finally, it's literally the date that we were expecting. Everybody was expecting it. August 5th, Tuesday, August 5th.
Absolutely.
Not a shock.
Not a shock. So they opened the PLL with that information as well. Absolutely not a shock.
Yep.
Which I'm glad. I'm on vacation that week, so.
I'm on vacation that day. That's my last day of vacation, so it's kind of perfect. If you haven't known too, and it's kind of wasn't put here, but I guess like upcoming date / news, there will most likely be maintenance beforehand leading up to that. So if you're planning on doing anything on August 4th, there will probably be maintenance.
Yeah, he said here, though, somewhere at the very beginning that it wasn't going to be 24 hours. Maybe I was hallucinating it? But I'm pretty sure they said somewhere it wasn't going to be a very long maintenance for a patch. Maybe I was sleeping.
If I see it, I'll scour through the notes.
If you see it, let me know.
If I see it.
The 7.3 trailer is now live. I've watched it a few times, so go check it out. You can just search on YouTube like Final Fantasy 14 7.3 trailer and it pops right up. I watched. Now here's something. I watched both the American one and the UK one, and I didn't see a difference. I think they just uploaded it with 2 different flags on it because the UK people wouldn't want to watch the American one, and the American Americans wouldn't want to watch the UK one, but it's exactly the same. It's exactly the voices are all the same.
I think this is the same thing. I believe the only reason why they're different is because of the different like maturity classifications. Because if you watch the UK one, it'll usually say like Peggy 13, but if you watch the American one, it just says like rated M for mature or something like that. So I think it's just kind of like those like literal different, like literally I think that's the only frame or the only slide in the whole video that's different, is just like the rating.
Okay.
The audience
that makes
rating
sense.
classification. Yeah.
That makes sense. But I was really confused because
they're exactly the same besides that.
Exactly the same. Okay. So kicking it off, we have some very minor information here on the MSQ. That is largely secret. Like we said before, he is not wanting to talk about this at all. The new trial will stay secret. The only thing he says about the MSQ is the story is a bit longer, so please take enough time to enjoy it. So put aside even a couple of nights to go through the MSQ. Don't try to rush it. He does say it's a bit longer. And also that what do you say? The Warrior of Light is going to be back in focus as the primary protagonist.
I'm sure. Probably definitely influenced by the community's feedback.
Exactly. So the new main scenario quest, the new dungeon, and the new trial are both going to be out on patch release. Oh, yeah, the Occult Crescent updates. So he's talked about all of this before. So this is a new instance will always be created when entering the Isle. I should probably zoom in so people can see it too. If this alliance meets entry requirements, a mirage will occur 5 minutes after arriving. Instance exclusivity will remain until the mirage expires. Minimum number of players required to use ciphers will be increased from 16 to 24, and it will now be possible to check the ciphers that have been offered and your selection status, entry confirmed, eligible for selection, or ineligible for selection. So again, just fixing things that they did before that made it very difficult for people to start getting clears and progging. You must be offered at least one cipher to be selected. Players that have not offered any ciphers will not be selected. The occurrence of new mirages will be put on hold during critical encounters, and treasure coffers found after encounters with persistent pots and happy bunnies will be adjusted to always contain gold pieces or silver pieces. Enlightenment gold pieces or silver pieces. So that's the currency of the Occult Crescent. Interesting. Okay. And then they go into the Echoes of Vana'diel Part 2, Sandoria, the Second Walk. I watched the live letter intentionally to get that Sandoria music, and they didn't show the Sandoria City music in the live letter. They just showed the Ron Fair music, which is the kind of outer world zone around it, which is fine. Super nostalgic still, but it wasn't the Sandoria music I wanted. So I think, like Juno, it might be just like a coffer music at the end of the dungeon.
Of course, next to it, the new Crystalline Conflict map, Bayside Battleground, which literally just looks like they just plopped it onto Tuliolo. Just said, here you go, have a battleground.
Exactly. So yeah, heads up. I'm sure they probably say this a little bit later in the notes, but the last day to complete your Malmstones for the current PvP season is like next Friday. Well, Monday. If there's
Yeah.
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 What's going on, Debbie? Come on, focus.
I'm trying to math. The math isn't mathing in my brain, but yeah, it's
Monday.
really gonna depend on what that maintenance period is. I would say to be safe, try to finish it by Sunday, but you may have time into Monday. Just don't count on it, just in case the maintenance is longer than we expect.
Yeah. They should be announcing maintenance at least a few days ahead of time, but
I would assume by Wednesday, because typically what happens is we have our podcast, and then like in a day or two, like within 48 hours, they give all the information that we were hoping to hear 48 hours prior.
Yeah, exactly. It is only us that brings the dawn. So
Only.
The new treasure dungeon, which they'll show some more slides on in a little bit. Oh yeah, so this is still stuff coming out at release.
Mm-hmm.
So the treasure dungeon, the Wreath of Snakes, Unreal, and the chat bubble feature should all be on release.
Chat bubbles, I'm surprised that they didn't delay, truthfully, because I feel like they were like still under development, but now it's coming.
Exactly. Cutter's Cry, duty support, headgear support for Hrothgar, option to hide Viera ears.
Yippee.
And this is all we got on it. This is all we got on this one slide.
I'll take it. Let me wear hats, please.
Okay, but the reason I'm drawing attention to it is because of this. You might have remembered this. This is our bingo card from last week, where I predicted that we would be seeing too much Viera hat information. And I think Yoshi P read this because he decided instead to go a completely different direction with the PLL, which is fine, but I'm just saying I was anticipating too much hat. But we can take one of our little paces here and put it over MSQ because we know we're getting MSQ now. Okay.
Yes.
Where is my stop sharing button on this screen? How do I swap between screens?
That's a great question.
That's a great question. Okay.
You know, I don't know. This is how you know it's my friends when there's technical difficulties.
Someone teach me how to use my computer, please. Okay. Patch 7.31. Now, doesn't the 3.1s, like the ones happen very quickly after the main one, like a couple of weeks?
Yes, it typically is about that. I think it might be more than a couple of weeks because I think it's the 0.05 that happens 2 weeks. Because if I'm thinking, like, for instance, like a normal raid versus like a savage raid, I think it's like, isn't it like an 05?
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
But
so I mean,
not super far in the future after.
It's not super far in the future, but not right away. So if you were looking for doing, oh my God, Deb, focus on English. If you were looking at doing the cosmic exploration right away, you're going to have to wait a little bit on that, as well as your phantom weapon. So tell me, chat, is Geralt smiling in that picture?
Zoom in, enhance.
Enhance.
Oh God, wrong part.
I don't know if that's a smile. I know when I did the bingo card, I meant it kind of sarcastically anyway, but we'll see. We'll wait and we'll see. Deep Dungeon, New Alliance Society Quest, and the Hildebrand are all 735. So even further in the future.
Even further. I feel like those 3 things, and we'll talk about them more in detail after, but I think these 3 things alone are like a patch worth of content, depending on how you look at it. So
Oh
that
yeah,
will be a good
huge.
chunk.
Huge. As always, Hildy will be doing crazy things, and it's just crazy. Brilliant translation. I love it. He is hard-boiled. He'll be fine. Okay, so they moved to some in-game footage, which is Yoshi P on his Black Mage in the Alliance raid, which was one of our... I'm probably doing this the totally wrong way. Yoshi, Black Mage in raid. Right there.
Perfect.
I'm like manually flipping between them, which I feel like I shouldn't have to do. There we go. Okay. And instead of having the Sandoria City music, which I thought it would right here, it has the Ron Fair theme, which I was kind of disappointed for. I was really looking forward to hearing the Sandoria music, but I looked through chat when this was showing live, and everyone was really loving the background music. Like, not just people who had played Final Fantasy XI, but even people who hadn't were like talking about background music. So I think people are going to enjoy it. But I pulled up like a picture that really doesn't have anything interesting on it at all. Way to go, Debbie. And then he like fights this boss and dies a couple of times. Just for dramatic effect, I guess.
Now, being a Final Fantasy XI player, were there any moments that you're just like super hyped for in any of this footage, or like areas or references?
You know, I'm excited for the area. Like, you know how we were talking a couple of weeks ago about our starting cities in Final Fantasy XIV and how that music is really, really nostalgic. Well, Sandoria was my starting city in 11, so it has that same kind of triggering nostalgia. Yeah. And same with like the outside areas of Ronfar and stuff like that. Like, it's just... I am looking forward to living in this Alliance raid, honestly.
I can believe that. I can believe that you were just going to end up in there nonstop.
Pretty much, living. Yeah. Until the deep dungeon comes out. Now, to help us out, knowing there are so many fans of 11, they're changing the way Orchestrion roll drops for this. So they will now drop from Alliance-specific treasure coffers, and they're not subject to the weekly reward limit. So 3 from the second boss, 3 from the third boss, and 6 from the fourth boss. So you have an increased chance to get one. And considering I'm still missing Orchestrion rolls from Juno, yeah. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. Honestly, I'm still missing things from some of the Involus raids. In particular, the second one, the math tower. I am still missing like the minion and a couple Orchestrions.
That's totally fair. I mean, unless you're going in there time and time and time again, it's so difficult.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, funny you say that, because I did do a 12-hour stream where I just did that raid time and time and time and time again. But I digress.
Oof.
You know, some of these costumes look really, really cool.
They're really nice. That first picture too, I believe that's also a new hairstyle, if I'm not mistaken. Someone was saying that kind of looked like one of the fan-inspired hairstyles. Minus the bows. I
didn't notice it because it was Mikote, but I think you're right. That one I've seen.
This is gonna be everybody's dancer outfit. You can't tell me that they're not gonna use that.
Like, what is this? When I first looked at it, I looked at the boots and everything, and I'm like, that's like Kingdom Hearts inspired, isn't it? It seems really Kingdom Hearts to me.
So I believe this is PvP, if I'm not mistaken here. This also feels like techwear adjacent, K-pop adjacent kind of clothes.
Added items available for exchange with trophy crystals. Show me.
Give me that.
I want to see it. New tiers are added.
New tiers, Omega and Ultimate.
You know, for all of those people who got tired of hanging out at Crystal tier.
New ones. Or Ultima, not Ultimate. Ultima.
Players may now register for casual matches in parties of up to 2, so you don't have to go it alone, and a timer will now display indicating the time before medicine kits appear on the field.
Nice. Nice quality of life changes there.
They've adjusted the functionality of Purify. Recast time has been reduced from 24 seconds to 4 seconds, but now it takes 2500 MP. Resilience effect. Yeah. Changed by a second. But that I don't know how I feel about that. I use Purify quite a bit.
Oh, I do too. It's like, I'm not loving the MP thing. However, being able to like use it more frequently, I think is nice, because sometimes you just get like back to back, like hit with something, like stunned, and then you're toast. You're completely gone in the water if you have like 2 or 3 people on you, and being able to at least kind of like escape from that quick, maybe just what you needed. But
the following statuses will now have persistent visual effects: Undead Redemption, Nebula, Chai-Ten, Wreath of Fire, and Wreath of Ice. They made you look cooler. What can we say? Yeah, they showed off the new arena. I mean, not much I can get here. Check out the actual like game footage if you're interested in checking out the arena ahead of time. These are, like we said, the PvP, the more casual PvP glam.
They are cute. It is very like streetwear, techwear adjacent, like very in that ballpark.
Yeah.
Like that is just giving K-pop.
Maybe. I look at it and I'm like, come on, Warrior, if like you've got all that gil, you can afford clothes that fit you. Come on. Like but I see bits and pieces of these sets and I'm like, oh, that piece would go good with that glam and that piece will go good with that glam. Like, even if you're not keen on the whole set, like if you like an individual piece, you can mix it.
I will say they stepped the glam game up this patch so far. Like, there's actually a lot of unique pieces, which I love, even if it's not like you said, like maybe not the full outfit is for me. Like, there's a lot of different stuff that we haven't seen yet, just not like just a reskin, which is really nice.
Yeah, they saved that for the online store now. Oh
my
God! Is that too soon? Ouch. This was actually fun. If you get a chance to watch any of the live letter, watch this part. This is the new treasure dungeon that is kind of like a giant slot machine.
Legal gambling.
Yeah, like this is replacing like the roulette one that we normally have, where you click the sphere and then it goes around in a circle, but now it's like these little bots here. They have images on their screens. Treasure is good. But I mean, it's the same symbols you would normally, I think, see in a treasure dungeon, but apparently the outcomes are different depending on how they mix and match. I am so just interested in finding out what it is.
Me too. I just want to like figure out what each one is, and like there's always typically like the best one too. Like I remember we had like the frog and the Hydaelyn, which I've never seen in real life. Like I've seen videos of it. I've never been part of a map that has had those, so I'm curious to see like if this type of map dungeon like has that and what that is.
That would be a kick out.
And look.
And then he says, well, of course, even with the 3 misses, it could respin. So that's like the Atmos choking and that sort of stuff. Yeah. And then we've got
prom. We're going to prom.
We are. So I guess those are the 2 new glams made from the material that drops from the new maps. Actually, I really kind of like that dress.
I love the fabric. Like, even just that alone. Like, I keep forgetting that they just did this major graphics overhaul. And, like, this fabric kind of reminds me of that. Like, it has this really nice kind of, like, satiny, plushy feeling. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, so I noticed that with the Occult Crescent gear, that what they've been able to do in-game with, like, fabric and the way it rolls and the way it lays and the sheen on it is just amazing now. If you think back to, like, a Realm Reborn Heavensward gear that just looked so plasticky, I guess. And it had no movement to it. It looked really flat. This is amazing.
For real.
Like, this is higher quality than you would ever see in an MMO usually. So. And then this is new Crafter and Gatherer gear. I don't know. Oops. I don't know which is the Crafter and which is the Gatherer, honestly. But
yeah, no idea. And it's very like medievally kind of. You know what I mean? Like it is very medieval folky. I wonder, like, what's the vibe for this? Like, what does the rest of the gear look like?
Okay, they took a break, and then this next part is all about the deep dungeon. So I thought they were going to spend a lot of time on VR hats. They're like, no, we're not going to show you all the hats. We're going to show you this deep dungeon because they completely overhauled it. They made a lot of changes to the deep dungeon, trying to make it accessible to more people. So they spent a little time telling us what a deep dungeon is. So for anyone who hasn't ever done a deep dungeon, they give you a little bit of an intro there before going in and showing us this. And they really wanted it to be a deep dungeon for everyone. So whether you're more casual or hardcore, whether you fly solo or run with a fixed party, it has something for everyone. Yeah, he goes on a little rant here. I don't know if you touched on this in your video at all. Where he's kind of thinking about it, and he's like, they discovered, well, I don't know that they discovered, they've really come to terms with the fact that Final Fantasy XIV is not a game with a fan base. Final Fantasy XIV is a game with 3 fan bases, at least, who are very, very different from one another. So you've got the fans of the game that are in there from the start, from the story, deeply connected to the MSQ and the side content. And then you've got the fans of the game that are deeply, deeply invested in the graphics, in mods, and RPing, and visuals, and G-pose, and that. And then you have the fans of the game that are like the hardcore players that do the savages, the ultimates, the really difficult content, love a challenge, and are playing the game for that. And the three fan bases are so totally different that there's very little overlap where you could put something out that everyone would enjoy. So they're trying to become a little more cognizant of what type of content they're releasing for each patch, so that even if it's a like hardcore heavy patch cycle, there's still going to be something in it that a casual player can get from it, or an RPer can get from it. So Yoshi kind of goes on a bit of a tangent here, promising everyone that they're going to kind of keep this in mind going forward, so you don't ever feel at a patch release that there's nothing for you to do. And even suggesting that content like Deep Dungeons going forward will be modified to appeal to a larger group of people, with modifications you can make to the content to make it easier or harder depending on what you're interested in. Yeah, so he says right here, a design philosophy change he wants to get into is to show how there are different ways to enjoy the same content in a casual way or a more hardcore way. I still believe that both sides need their own extremes. Definitely casual or super hardcore content is needed. So, what do you think? Like, I haven't given you a lot of opportunity to speak, but I mean,
it's admirable. I definitely think it's admirable. Like, there is, it's probably like that 3 Venn diagram kind of situations where, like, I feel like there are some people that are into every part of the game, but truthfully, yeah, there is a very loud audience that is here for the harder content, the end game content, and there is an audience that's like, I want to do things, but I want it casual. I'm very excited to hear that there's a piece of content that is kind of maybe not a one size fits all, but like you can kind of customize it as you go. I'm skeptical slightly. Like, I don't know how it's gonna, like, they do break down how it's gonna work, and I feel like sometimes giving people too many options, they're not able to make a choice. Or versus if you were just able to say, like, you do this or you do that. Like, it's like sometimes people have harder times making choices when there are too many options or too much customization. So I'm hopeful, I'm excited, I'm curious, but I'm a little like, I will believe it when I see it kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I enjoy the fact, well, I enjoyed him telling us this because it really made me realize that a lot of the disconnect we have with each other as a community in social spaces is there's a lot of people angry at other people enjoying specific types of content. And there's not a lot of talk about how we're all very different communities inside one game. And just because one person is really, really happy with the game and really enjoying the game because they play a particular type of content that has been good to them, doesn't mean that the people who play a different type of content can't have criticisms with the release schedule or the type of content that they enjoy playing in the game. Like, it's just completely different ecosystems, and we're allowed to just say, oh, cool, you know, I don't personally play that, I'm not part of that content in the game, I play the game for these reasons and I really, really enjoy it. And we can all just kind of accept that. We're such a diverse game community, and you don't really have games that are comparable in as much as people play like a completely different game. Like, the game I play is very different than the game like our peers play, or, you know, hardcore raiders play. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But I like that he took a moment to really talk about that and say, we see all of you. We're not just putting out this game for one particular player. We see all of you, and we're trying to make it as diverse as possible. But Feo, someone who we thought should come back at some point, is coming back in this deep dungeon. The requirements are to clear floor 50 of the Palace of the Dead and to complete the main scenario quest Endwalker. Now, you can story skip up to Endwalker. So in theory, this content should be available to pretty much everyone as long as you get through the Palace of the Dead. Now, I never really looked a lot at these screens. Start from the first floor and make your way to floor 100. Face a boss battle every 10 floors, which is, again, the way deep dungeons work. Got some little rainbow plant, guys. This is probably an example of a boss.
Very, very like Shadowbringer's boss. All three of these are like, ooh, this is bringing me back to a good time.
Okay, they're talking about Aether Pool gear, which again is just part of the deep dungeon experience. Oh, I didn't look at this! This is the new Aether Pool gear.
It is. This is very stained glass, like.
Oh, I love it!
You were in the Pixies.
Oh,
land.
Keep in mind, guys,
the castle, whatever that castle is called.
That
the butterfly wings.
Exactly. Once you get a certain Aether Pool on your weapons, you can request a copy of them. And so this becomes glam that you can use outside the deep dungeon. Ah. The initial quest is completed by defeating the level 30 boss. Early floors could be attempted by either fixed or matched parties, while later floors could only be attempted by fixed parties in previous deep dungeons.
But now,
Pilgrim's Traverse will allow you to take on an entire dungeon with a matched party. Fixed parties are okay, and matched parties are okay.
That's huge.
It's game-changing.
That's huge.
Because
that's
I know
getting to the
right?
later floors with a full like group. It is a big commitment.
Now, keeping in mind, like depending on the deep dungeon, the grind from floor 30, which is where you enter like the deep dungeon and usually the last save point before you get to the end of the dungeon, is like a 4 to 6 hour run sometimes. Yeah. And so you have to find a party, you have to put up a party finder, or you have to like get a group of friends together and you have to sit there and you have to grind through it. So to just be able to go into a matching system for this is huge.
Yeah.
The good thing of 14 is to just queue for content when you want to play it, so we tried to change the queue feature in this deep dungeon. If we manage to use resources, we'd also like to change this for the old content. From level 31 onwards, the boss fights every 10 floors will steadily increase in difficulty. They sure do. We're trying to go back to the difficulty level of Heaven on High. So for anyone who did deep dungeons, Eureka Orithos was hard. It was hard for more casual players compared to Palace of the Dead or Heaven on High. The bosses more often had insta-kill attacks and that sort of thing. So this will be good. It says, of course, on the higher floor, things will still one-shot you, but on Eureka Orthos, starting at floor like 20, things would one-shot you. So, that's a bit of a relief. In Pilgrim's Traverse, you will additionally be able to try again from floors 31, 51, and 71.
Which is also huge. I don't know if you've ever gotten literally within the last... Like, I've gotten to, like, the 90-something floor. Like, 98th floor, I think, is the highest I've gotten and failed. And then it's like, well, time to restart.
Yep.
So now knowing that it won't be such a giant drop, oh, so nice.
Huge. So, I mean, that's cutting down the commitment. So because they're going to a queue system, and people are going to be matched with you, instead of being matched with you for potentially 4 to 6 hours, you could start at 71 and it could only be like 2 or 3 hours. Well, maybe 2 hours. So much better.
I think even for like fixed parties too, it'll just be so nice. I know some of the issues that I had with previous groups was like any of those 95th floor wipe or 98th floor wipe, like those groups typically didn't go back and restart because it was like it took the wind out of our sails, you know? And like a wipe just like it was kind of like we'll maybe get back to it and never did. And so I think like if we knew we only had to start like 20 or even 30 levels, not even, it's only giving you like a 20 level regression. Oh, it's just the hours, countless hours saved, which is like, oh, I can't express how excited that makes me because it actually, I feel like I could confidently get to the end without worrying so much about like the perfect run.
No, exactly. There was a couple of Eureka Orthos attempts where we got to floor like 97, 98, and then died. And then you're right, it just knocks the wind right out of your sails. We're like, well, we'll try this again whenever. Like,
right.
You're not going right back in. You've usually been at it for several hours, so you're just like, well. And then trying to get the whole group together again at a specific time, specific place to make another attempt. Whereas in this way, if you want to be a Deep Dungeon player, you can just be matched with other Deep Dungeon players and not have to go through the party finding process. Defeat the boss on floor 99 to reach the end. Now, this is where... Oh, should you fall to the boss on floor 99, you will need to try again from 71. Which again, perfect. 71, fair. Perfect.
Yeah, 30 levels, like, okay, that's fair. Not 100 or, 90-something levels.
For Pilgrim's Traverse, we'll be adding a new duty that allows players to directly challenge the floor 99 boss as often as they like. What?
This is where it's weird and cool and weird.
Final verse. Unlocked upon reaching floor 99 and available to challenge freely. Accessible by speaking with an NPC. Challenge with a party of 1 to 4 members. Valuable rewards may drop on rare occasions. I love how they said may drop and rare. So they're underscoring the please don't yell at us. Yeah.
Yeah. 0.0001% chance.
After honing your skills, return to conquer the deep dungeon and discover what awaits on floor 100. So yeah, they're adding things to the challenge log.
And I believe...
so they're even telling you what floors those challenge log entries can be completed on.
And I believe these are the items that you can turn in for... I think it's the either the customization or... Did we pass the customization chart?
I don't think so yet.
Maybe it's later. Ah, it's later. So those items will be very important along the way. Those rewards.
The rainbow shred hedge
Shrub?
red.
Hedge,
I think I combined
Shred.
shrub and hedge.
Yeah. That little basket creepy monster. I love it.
What is
The chandelier.
it's a chandelier?
That's a chandelier.
What is this a picture of, Yoshi? I don't know.
I think he's. Oh, the hoverboard. That was the hoverboard.
Where?
Mount.
Oh. Where?
Zoom in. Enhance.
Enhance. Oh, they're behind the crystal. Okay. Yoshi
Yeah.
must have been moving. It must have been hard to get. There is a better picture of that in the actual footage of the live letter, but that's a hoverboard mount.
That's a hoverboard mount. Which that was the thing. I think that was
That
the
was
bingo card.
that was a thing.
That was a bingo. It wasn't bingo by itself, sadly.
Hoverboard mount. Okay, where's the PLL?
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, my favorite thing.
So this is. Tell us what this is, because I had to ask my community. I'm like, why is everyone talking about this thing? What is this thing?
So the Yan, it's adorable. Let's just start there. Adorable as heck. B, if you have done M6S, Sugar Riot, Yans are no joke. They will one-shot headbutt you, mostly the tanks, but sometimes random people. They will just go around and like headbutt and kill everybody. This was like the Yans were one of the hardest things in M6S, if not the whole tier. Was just these cute, adorable little fluffy things that are so evil. And so the community definitely got obsessed over Yans. And as soon as I saw them out, I was like, I need to do everything in my power to get one of these.
Apparently, they're from Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're an optional baddie that's just super tough, super tough.
But it's so adorable. Look at that face. It's so
the
cute.
big,
I don't even
big
care that
eyes.
it's gonna headbutt me and kill me. It's just too adorable.
They show it off a lot. Oh yeah, there's a better picture, I guess, of the hoverboard. So it's got the lights underneath in the board. Some of the mounts I showed are from Deep Dungeon, and they can drop by finding hidden treasures. And then there's this thing.
The albino beaver.
Apparently it's like a sin eater beaver.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Oh, because they pulled it up here, and apparently in the description, yeah, it's a sin eater.
I love that.
And then they have the Quantum boss. Oh yeah, here he says, a mysterious creature from the Pilgrim's Traverse. What happens when a sin eater and a giant beaver meet? Which one becomes which? Okay.
Beautiful.
There are many mysteries in this world if you think about it, and this minion shows that. Okay, so use the offerings rewarded from the quest by unlocking and reaching floor 100 to enter the final verse Quantum. Offerings will be consumed only upon successfully defeating the boss and opening the treasure coffer that appears. And these offerings, at least 15 are required to challenge the final verse Quantum. Upon completion of the quest, players will obtain 40 offerings. Many offerings can be found by unearthing pieces of the accursed hoard and traded on the market board. So if you're not interested in challenging a super tough boss, you can make lots of money instead, which is awesome. I love that. But there are 5 types of offerings, and up to 8 of each type can be used for a total of 40, but each type of offering enhances the boss in a particular way. So depending on what types and the number of offerings used, the boss's stats will change, will increase. So physical damage, light damage, dark damage, fire damage, and maximum HP. So they were saying, like, if you have a party that's super high in DPS and you find that it's dying too quickly, you can like bump up its HP. Or if you find you're not being challenged or your healer isn't being challenged, you can like bump up the type of damage you're taking. Which is I find really interesting. I'm not a savage or hard player, so what do you think about this system?
I think it's interesting. I'm so interested to see how this works, because it is a really cool idea to see like how to mix and match kind of depending on what you want. And then I'm just curious to see like what the reward's going to be too. Like if there is a reward, is the push really just like the personal like fulfillment and challenge, or is it like the more you beef everything up, you know what I mean? Like the more rewards or something. So I'm super excited and curious to see how this is going to pan out, honestly.
Yeah. And I mean, I believe there is an achievement for beating it fully beefy. So people will definitely be trying to do that. But yeah,
it's
so
more difficult than a savage fight.
They
Almost
said
like
so,
Ultimate,
yeah.
Which is pretty wild, honestly, for a deep dungeon.
And the good part is, like, you don't lose your offerings if you wipe. It's not a, like, try it and win or fail and have to grind again. It's you can keep trying.
That's huge.
Yeah. The fight length is shorter, but some of the mechanics with 40 offerings will be ultimate level. Oof. An ultimate level 4 player?
I even forgot it was a 4-player, right? I'm very curious, because like that could be amazing or terrible. Like in one sense, it's less people to coordinate. In another sense, that's less people to heal and mitigate.
The final verse quantum guaranteed drops proportionate to the number of offerings made. So the more offerings you put in, the more loot you stand to gain, but could be pretty beefy. But he encourages people to give it a try because you've got nothing to lose. If you put in the offerings and you wipe, just try again with less offerings or whatever.
I do love that too, because then it's like, if you want to go in with no offer, you know, like the minimal offerings, you can go in, try it, and then if you're like, oh wow, I wish I would have done this harder, it sounds like you can just get the offerings and try it again at a different difficulty. Or like you said, maybe if it's too much, you kind of scale it down and like you kind of literally season to taste.
Yeah, you can tweak it. Yeah.
Yeah.
As with previous deep dungeons, completing Pilgrim's Traverse solo will grant an achievement and a title. There will also be a ranking board. Reaching floor 100 will be as difficult to achieve as previous deep dungeons. I'm gonna watch someone else do it. What is it, like Angelus, the streamer who solos all the deep dungeons? I'm just gonna watch him do it. I think. I mean, there's some in-game footage now. Like we are already at almost an hour here, so I'm not going to go too in depth with all of this. But there are some mechanics that are like risk and reward based, where it's like touching something may give you a buff or it may give you a debuff, sort of thing. So sometimes a party may fight over whether or not to touch a thing. Which will be really interesting. Yeah, if anyone will get it, someone will get it. Feo is now a minion because she got angry she wasn't.
Oh my gosh. I need, every time you summon it, I need to hear the wah!
And then they go into chat bubbles. Blacklist improvement. Phoenix Down changes. This is a big one. Yeah. I want to call this a quality of life improvement. I mean,
I think it is. But
because
this,
now
I think we got PvP quality of life improvement.
Exactly. Because now you can hold more than one Phoenix down. You can use it during combat. A lot more than one. You can use it in deep dungeons, instance dungeons, treasure dungeons, guildhast trials, 4-player trials, and variant dungeons. And you can buy them from vendors. I don't know if you could before because they usually just dropped from...
Right.
They drop from deep dungeons, or you could you could get them from squadrons or grand companies.
Big grand companies? Yeah.
But yeah, so now there's a recast timer, but even a 360-second recast timer is still better than only having one.
Totally.
So, yeah. G-pose updates. Oh yeah. We have portrait mode now.
Yeah.
This is what they're talking about adding content for everyone, right? So you've got the people who maybe aren't excited about the MSQ and not excited about the deep dungeon, but hey, portrait mode. So he's really trying to cover all of his bases here. And they're talking about some of the different effects they have in G-Pose now. Different visual effects. Some of them are kind of... Doman Mahjong voices.
Got Wuklamat!
Display range on characters, which really doesn't make too much of a difference, and then going into chat bubbles. So the feature, as they said previously, is disabled by default and can be set on and off. Chat bubble and font color can also be changed. Can be set to display 1 line or 2 line of text. Text will be truncated. Chat bubbles will not be displayed during battle or PvP, which they highlight in red. So anyone hoping to get those like memeable screenshots of your character dead in a dungeon with a chat bubble, it's not going to happen. We debated a lot whether to enable the feature during battle content. We decided not to. One reason being that we're afraid it forces players to use the feature, making people hit a specific macro when they get a debuff, for example. We didn't want to create the environment where players might feel forced by other players as well to use the feature during raids. So a lot of people during the live letter were saying in the comments about like callouts and stuff. It's like, no, it's not for that.
Yeah, I think, and I'll just touch upon this like slightly. I love being part of the like raiding community in the game, but unfortunately there is the stigma where if it's accessible, everyone needs to like, there are these standards that like once it's a standard, it's an expectation, like socially amongst the community, and it's like it's a blessing and it's very much a curse at the same time. So I kind of appreciate how they steered away from that in this instance for those reasons.
But he shows an example of the settings screen where the different chat bubbles can have different like visuals. Not only the text could be different, but the bubble itself could be different, so you know who's talking. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
And you can change the colors.
Definitely more customizable than I was expecting to. I was just expecting basic, and they kind of went all in.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time just talking to this random person in the chat box to show the bubbles above his head. And then we get on to the portion where they try to sell us stuff. Silicone ice tray. The little job gems.
I want like chocolates. You could make chocolates.
Oh, too. You could, yes. That's what I use mine for, actually. And then the little acrylic stands. The Pulse Remix Volume 2 Deluxe Edition, October 17th. And then these t-shirts, which, I don't know, they're fine. They're not like readily identifiable at a distance as being Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So
It's kind
They're
of
on
nice in a weird way, though. Sometimes it's nice to have like a subtle nod. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But definitely not. I wouldn't say that's a Final Fantasy shirt until double checking it.
The patch notes reading scheduled for Tuesday, August 5th.
I always
Must
forget
be
that's happening because I'm
in
too
the
busy
early morning.
playing the patch.
Oh,
Like,
that's where he said it. So the maintenance for 7.3 will not be 24 hours. It will be
Ah.
shorter.
23
Ah,
and a half.
I know I saw it somewhere.
Hey,
Hey. But then that is the end of that. So let's take one last look before we go at our bingo cards, see if there's anything else we can fill in. So I'm gonna say we got a new quality of life update, one they didn't talk about before. That was the Phoenix Downs. That was a surprise.
Yeah.
Voice.
I mean, it was confirmed.
What was confirmed?
Wook the voice.
Oh yeah, we can put that in. We can put that.
We got
in.
it.
We got it. The chat bubbles are not delayed. They are coming out on schedule. And we didn't get an actual.
Hildy.
We did see Hildy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we got a very, very brief look at Hildy.
Yes. Oh, if that too much hat, if that just was right, we would have had bingo.
Oh. Yeah, no.
Literally the opposite problem.
Yeah, literally the ultimate opposite problem. He knew I said it, and he was like, "But wait." And what I don't know. Was that a smile? Yeah, I know. No, it really wasn't.
I don't think this one, sadly, might be bingoed out.
Okay. Well, we'll save this one and see if we do better on the next live letter.
I want to know when FanFest when, Yoshi.
Right?
I need to plan time off of work. I need to plan my money. FanFest when.
So some people are starting to panic and think that their lack of mention of a FanFest so far is indicating a summer 27 release.
Oh god.
And right? Because the math just doesn't work on that, and patch 7.5 is going to be really, really stale by the time we get an 8.0 in that case. So we're not thinking that, but the lack of a FanFest date does have people worried. So
totally valid. I'm gonna hope at least at the latest, like December next year, next expansion. But even then, that feels gross. Like I don't like December expansions because there's too many things going on. It's holidays. Like I don't want to worry about just another thing, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of people have time off around Christmas, so maybe.
That's like the blessing and the curse, because it's like the time off. But for me, like, I love Christmas so much. Like I want to, like, I have my winter time, Christmas time, like, rituals. And as much as I will definitely spend my time on 14, it's like I don't want to have to choose over doing other things that I normally do that time of year. I will choose, but I don't want to.
Right. So fingers crossed. It doesn't mean that, but you might hear some grumbling because people are starting to get worried. So yeah, that's everything for today. Let us know in the comments or in the chat, like, what's your favorite part of the live letter? What are you most looking forward to? Are you going to be excited upon release of patch 7.3, or are you going to be holding out for something that comes a little bit later on? Yeah. So what'll you be up to this week?
Great question. So I will be on vacation starting Wednesday, staycation. So I'll probably be adding some more streams in here and there, but mostly trying to do the last bits of like Moogle Tome actually farming it, getting some of my kind of like things that I have to do before patch 7.3. I will also be doing more M8 S prog. We're getting close to the clear. So trying to fit that in with some DSR prog on the weekend, and yeah, just streaming pretty much every day. Some shenanigans.
Oh my god,
You,
keep him busy.
So busy between DSR, M8, and Phasmophobia and some other shenanigans. It's just been chaos. I love it. I'm tired.
Hey. My streaming schedule is gonna stay as is for this week. There might be some changes next week, because I will also be on a staycation at that point, but that's also when the patch is dropping. So depending on how I'm feeling, I might be streaming in the evenings, or I might go back temporarily to a morning stream, or I might just arrange a couple of full day streams. I haven't decided yet. I'm just gonna play it by ear. For my staycation, I'm wanting to declutter. I came across this sudden urge to just want to get rid of everything I don't need. So I might even just rent like a giant garbage disposal bin and just like huck stuff I don't need in my life anymore. So that's kind of
same boat. I was thinking, I was like, maybe I'll stream a bunch more, and I was like, I'm gonna play it by ear because I'm the same way. Like, we need to clean the house. I want to do day trips, so it's like, oh, yep,
yeah,
total move.
So it'll be some balancing. But for this coming week, up until the patch, it's going to be business as usual for Debbie. Yeah. And thank you so much to everyone in my Discord and my community who reached out, giving me love and support after the loss of the Cat of War. Artemis. I appreciate everyone's comments, all of your reactions. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, then thank you so much for joining me, Pyra.
Thank you, Debbie. Happy 50th episode.
Right?
We didn't even say that.
50 episodes is a lot of episodes, and yet it doesn't feel like a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
I think
Some days
we're getting better.
The first week, right? This is the first week we're doing this. I'm like, oh, it's been over a year and a half. Right?
So we need to do like some flashback episodes, I guess. Maybe for the 100th episode, do some clip shows of old podcasts and see how we've changed. But I enjoy doing this, and I definitely look forward to 50 more.
Likewise. We got this.
We got this. And thank you so much, everyone who joined us live. And to those who are watching in the future, welcome. Let us know in the comments below what you're thinking, and be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching, gamers. Take care, love yourself as much as you love others, and we'll see you in game. Bye.
Bye.